What's up guys, Elfis here, and today we're going to be doing another replay analysis. This one is going to be for Sammerrz playing Shadowblade is actually who he ends up playing. Spoiler alert, I guess. I mean, we're still in the picking phase, but it doesn't really make a difference. So we're going to go ahead and start up here, and the key, we're going to talk about a few things in the early game, starting with team composition, which is why I'm starting at the picking phase. So first of all, good. Everybody's showing their heroes. Oh, that's that new skin for Panda. Okay. Everybody's showing the heroes they want instead of just insta-picking. That's great. This is a 1500 level normal mode game. So at the moment, they're just kind of setting up a team composition. I do want to mention that I personally don't like Shadowblade. I think he's a pretty weak hero, no matter what role you choose to play him as. I think he's obviously a carry, but I have seen him. Some people play him as like a tanky, you know, initiator and things of that nature. I think he's a fairly weak hero well, fairly weak in compared to other heroes in that role. But I'm not going to get too much into that. He did pick him, so obviously, you know, that's irrelevant what I'm going to say on how weak he is. Maybe for future reference, don't pick him. But again, you can you know, look up some information about him and figure it out. Okay, so we're looking up team composition. So first of all, Plague Rider Tempest, I absolutely love the combination. Love it, 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 love it. Bubbles is in there too. That's a good one as well to have in that. Gladiator too, but even with those people holding them down, it's really really hard to hit Gladiator's ultimate. It's just really hard, and I mean that. Let's see. So we have Chipper for the other team, but I don't think you guys can see that because this is casual mode. I believe I can see it because I'm a spectator, but not you guys. So they have a pretty kill-heavy team. Holy crap. Okay, so team composition-wise, I would say probably you guys have better because these guys have an incredibly strong early game. Incredibly strong, like early to mid-game. Like, this team needs to win in, like, the first 25 minutes. And they could do a pretty goddamn good job of it. I mean, that's such a beastly team. Holy crap. Okay, so I can imagine this is not going to be a very fun early game for you guys, but I guess we'll see. Spoiler alert to anybody watching, the Legion team does win, so it's not that poor of a game. So let's see. Team composition. Your team composition is decent. All right. You have a support or two. You have a carry in there. I'm not sure why I'm clicking. You have initiation, plenty of initiation, which is great. We are going to get a pause. They have no agility, is what you're saying. So what I do want to say is that you don't necessarily need agility to win the game, but if you want to, you could watch my team composition video, and I'll kind of, you know, go over it a little bit, and I'll put the link in the description if you want to. But so basically, you can do whatever you want team composition wise to an extent, but you know, if it's solo queue, I wouldn't recommend, you know, going a weird, you know, team composition like they have. They have a very strong early game, but like absolutely no late game pretty much. I mean, it depends on how they build, but still. So we're going to check out your lane composition here. That's the next thing we need to talk about, and your starting items. So let's see. Bubbles has a ward. Did Tempest get a ward? No. Okay, so it looks like, yeah. Okay, so we have one ward amongst the team. Oh, sorry. No, you did end up getting a ward. All right, perfect. I was going to comment on that, but good. So I love your starting items. I love them. 2 totems, plenty of regen, and a ward. What I do want to say is maybe Plague Rider tends to not need the mana pots because of that deny ability that gives him mana. If you want to be really harassy and just like spamming your contagion, then, you know, you're more than welcome to. I'm not by any means hating on it. I just think that it's not necessarily like the best, you know. Why can't I okay, that's weird. Here we go. Oh, sorry, I was looking at Plague Rider the whole time. Oh my god, I'm stupid. Okay, so your starting items. Your starting items, still fine. So, you're going to be a solo lane, though. This is odd. I would not have sent you solo, because you have a Plague Rider, Bubbles, and you're sending Gladiator mid. So, okay, so this is weird. So, Gladiator and you are going mid, and okay, Oh, no, no, no. Okay, so you're switching it up. So we're sending Bubbles, Suicide, top. Alright, I don't like Bubbles' items, but I'll talk about that in a sec. Plague Rider's items, fine. Tempest, fine, I guess. Those are still a little bit odd items. Gladiator, fine, and yours, fine. Okay, so down here... So this is weird. There's no reason in the 1500s to send a Suicide lane like this. I mean, I guess if you thought, well, hey, you know, Parasite's going to be jungling, there's no reason, you know, I mean, he'll be okay. But Parasite's a really aggressive jungler. He ganks a lot, so... I wouldn't have done that, but we're going to focus on you so much, you more so than the team, but what I will say is that Suicide lanes tend to not work out so well in the 1500s, so maybe for future reference, don't do that. So I can't tell if it's just because of my game, or have you not actually put a point into anything yet? I can't tell. I'm not sure if Spectator does that or not, so... Yeah, I can't tell. Alright, so if I watch as a spectator, though, I think I can tell better. Yeah, okay, so here we go. So we'll just watch as a spectator instead of from your perspective. Okay, so you did put points in. Alright, that's much better. I was thinking you were not putting points in, so that's fine. Okay, so I'm actually paying attention to your last hitting here specifically, and you're missing a couple unnecessary last hits to miss. Now, it's not a huge thing to note. Like, see here, you're auto-attacking a little bit down, that's not necessary, the lane's already pushed to where you want it to be, so this is fine. You should, I mean, you're missing a few that you don't need to miss is all. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that. I mean, it's only a few, but still. So you guys did initiate right there. I don't want to say that's bad, you're totally fine. The only thing is that you don't really need to be super aggressive against this lane. They have a pretty aggressive lane themselves, so as long as you're staying as long as you're staying in a place where they're not going to be aggressive, it's okay. Oh, and they actually warded your pull too. That's nice by them. So let's see, starting items for them. That's fine. So your Plague Rider's now in a little bit of trouble. And this is why I was saying you shouldn't be too aggressive with them, because then Plague Rider's out of mana, and you're out of mana, and it gets to the point where it's a little bit dicey, and that then they can do what they want. Now, obviously they didn't get the kill, but it can get to a point where it's a little bit dicey. Let's see, are we purchasing something on the courier, or are we just AFKing for a sec? Okay, we were just thinking, I guess, for a second, or possibly typing. So when you're in spectator, I actually can't see team chat, which is unfortunate. Because technically I'm not on the team, but I think this is the better way to do it, because that's just how I think we should do things. I don't necessarily think we should base our opinions off of what you're talking about in team chat anyways. So, but back to the topic at hand. So, looking at the time, we're at 3:30 just about, and you're sitting at 6 creep kills. So that's not good. It's not bad, and what I will say is that I haven't watched, sorry, I looked at the stat recap at the end of the game, so I know your creep score finishes fairly okay. So you're most certainly going to pick it up at some point, and I think that's because you build a runed cleaver, which I'll talk about when we get to it. But right now you're behind, so a very big portion of your mistakes look like they're going to be rooted somewhere in the last hitting. So you need to practice on that. What I like to say is to set a goal. My goal, and it's a fairly decent goal. A lot of people say you should get 50 every 10 minutes. I like 100 every 20 minutes because some heroes have a rough start, but then they pick up even stronger. So 100 every 20 minutes is my goal. It should be your goal as well if you're playing a carry. Or a number of heroes, just pretty much anybody who's going to be the farmer in your lane, which in this case is obviously you. So you should be... right now you're significantly behind. You're about to hit 5 minutes. Technically you should be somewhere closer to 20 CK at the moment, which I know 7 behind doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but when you're only at 13, it actually is a fairly decent decently sized mistake. So make this a goal every game, 100 every 20 minutes. I did that for a long time, and it actually does help a lot. Like, if that's your goal, you tend to reach it much more often than you would had you not set a goal. So that's something I would do. I would set a goal and make it your goal to get that every game. Now, you don't have to set the goal. I guess there's a couple of things you could do. See, this is what I mean when I say this is a really aggressive lane. You actually probably shouldn't have walked in the way of those, by the way. You should have, I think you should have just let Plague take the damage and then do your thing afterwards. It wasn't really necessary, I guess. But, I mean, it's fine, it's fine. You both lived, so, and you didn't really take that much damage anyway, so it's, you know, no harm, no foul. So, now, you got a Mana Tube. If you're going for Rune Cleaver, especially against this lane, if you're going for Rune Cleaver, I would have gone for the Health Tube. There's very few cases where you should get a Mana Tube before the Health Tube. And see there, that's what I'm talking about, like missing last hits unnecessarily. Like some of these that you're missing aren't even contested. Which, you know, I'm not trying to, you know, harp on it too much. It's just that if they, especially if they aren't contested meaning if the enemy team isn't, you know, fighting you for them, then you really need to be, you should really be, like, careful. Very good job by you, actually. They were going to get that kill regardless, so that was a very good job by you getting the kill in the process. Actually, I'm actually that's a very good job. You did a very good job. So you're actually getting kited here. This is the part where you should have left. It looks like this guy's stupid. I don't think he realizes that you don't have boots. He could have just ran away. I'm not sure why he did all that, but you should have probably not stayed. And the reason for that isn't because you couldn't take him in a one-on-one. The reason for that is because you don't know if the enemy team is going to be teleporting in to help him or not. He could very well be delaying you from leaving to get back up. Now, obviously, he wasn't doing that, but the point is that he could have been doing that. And now, no, I think you're dead. Yeah. Oh, nope, you got away. Nice job, actually. It was a little bit more so mistakes on his part, but nice job. So, and this is where the health tube would have come in handy. You would have been at, you know, probably half to 2/3 health by the time you came in with that. So it looks like they're setting up a gank down here. Doesn't look like that's going to happen, though. Tempest, he's got that ring. Perfect. That's the item I like to see on him. So, oh yeah, bubbles starting items. You shouldn't start with this, ever. And I'm not going to rag on him too much, but because I'm focusing on you, but you shouldn't start with that, like, ever. There's really zero reason to do that. And I know some people will say, well, we're going straight for the, you know, the Ring of the Sorcerer. Well, that's fine, but you can get stats first and then sell the stats and get that, and you're still not even, like, behind in the slightest, and you can get more last hits with your stats, and it's just, I'm not going to go too much into it, but the numbers clearly say that that's not what you should do. So, okay, so we're at 750 right now, and you just got a completed Sustainer, so that's good. So what I will say is you're a little bit behind in CK, but the fact that you have a kill is making up for it. Now, your gold per minute's fairly low. Well, actually, you know what? I'm not going to say that. It's not fairly low, it's just not fairly high. So it's nothing to brag about, but it's certainly not anything to, you know, be, you know, upset that you're, you know, where you are. And actually, she, I don't know why I called her she. Plague Rider should not be wasting Contagion on Electrician. You should be using it on Midas every time you can. At this point, I would just kill Midas. Yeah, you don't even need to focus on Electrician. Because really, the point isn't to get all these kills down here. The point is for you to get farm. As long as you're getting farm, you're winning the lane. So, you don't actually need to kill them, is another thing you guys tend to be focusing on. Not that I'm saying you should pass up on free kills if you have the opportunity, just that in you know, a carry support lane, carry babysitter like this, your goal isn't to get kills, your goal is to get farm. So as long as you're getting farm, you're still winning the lane. Their job is to get kills. They have a pretty kill heavy lane. So, and here they come, here he comes back solo. This is odd. Okay, so here we go, there we go, we're getting plenty of last hits now. Don't miss that. You missed one there. Okay, so, see, these are the last hits I'm talking about, the uncontested ones that you should be focusing more so on getting. But what I will say is that you're on par with, you know, top CK in the game. Deadwood is beating everybody pretty badly, but he is Deadwood, so, oops, we're getting initiation down here. Plague Rider. See, that's their job. That's what they want to keep doing. They want to keep killing. They try to just keep killing him, because that's what their job is. Your job isn't necessarily to get kills. So, okay, so I'm going to talk about your items. I don't like Rune Cleaver on him, not at all. And I'd have to look into actually whether or not this is true. But in case you don't notice, there's a reason that Rune Cleaver isn't picked up on any ranged heroes, and the reason for that is because they don't need well, they need something else instead. Ranged heroes tend to be significantly squishier and have a number of other handicaps, I guess is the way to say it, as opposed to melee heroes. Now, what I don't know is I know Shadowblade has an ability that makes him ranged, but I'm actually not 100% sure how that range ability affects his stats so much. So I'd have to look into that. I don't main Shadowblade all that much, so I don't know whether or not it would affect his stats significantly or weaken him or what the deal is. But yeah, they have a ward here, so. So that's not a good thing by Electrician to do that. He's telling you guys that they have a ward right around this area. So you could counter ward it if you wanted. Not necessarily you. Plague Rider or Tempest could be the one to do it, but you shouldn't tell people you have wards there. That's like not a very intelligent thing to do. But so I don't like the Rune Cleaver on him. And that's not to say it's a poor choice. I just think there are better items. I think, for example, Frostburn would have been better on him. And actually, based on this team, you actually go in Sanitarius and Rune Cleaver. In this team, a Shrunken Head is so necessary. 4 out of 5 of them are like pure magic damage. Now, Deadwood, granted, I believe his ultimate is either superior magic damage or physical damage. It's physical damage now. I think at one point they like changed it to something else, but whatever. So, and just, I want to make a note real quick. As I expected, this early game not going so well for you guys. You're losing 8-2 at the moment. But that's totally okay, as long as your carries are getting farm. Now, your farm, still decent. It's by no means terrible. You should probably get out. This is not where you want to be. Yeah, definitely not where you want to be. You get an Electrician Grip. Oh, good thing Electrician got creep block. I was going to say, if you got Electrician gripped under that tower, you'd be dead. But, that's okay. Alright, so let's see. Deadwood 2-1, Parasite 1-0, Chipper 2-0, Electrician 1-1, and Midas 2-0. So this is what I was saying. This is their job. This whole team is based around winning dominatingly early game. Now, you don't have to win dominatingly early game. You just need to get the farm you need to get by. And that's something I think you're not 100% focused on. You're focused more so on kills, I think, which there's nothing wrong with getting kills. It's just that that's not your goal. Now, again, I'm not watching team chat, so maybe you're calling missings, but they clearly are missing, so you should warn Tempest, and it looks like Tempest is dead. Yeah, that looks like a dead Tempest to me. Oh, purple coming to help, maybe? Wasted of his ultimate. Oh, buddy. Nice job. Very good job, actually. I take that back. It wasn't a waste of his ultimate. I didn't think his ultimate would come in time. I thought the delay would be too much. But now that was a waste of Plague's ultimate. With the creeps there, that was not the best. So this is a lost team fight pretty badly. Well, I guess it depends if Plague gets away. It doesn't look like he's going to, though. Yeah, so you should just leave. You should just leave. You shouldn't go into this. There's no reason for you to do that. Your team's dead. Yeah, this is not a fight you want to fight. Especially against a Deadwood who's 2 levels ahead of you, and a Parasite who's also 2 levels ahead of you. So, that's not something you want to fight. I'm not sure why they're running, because they could actually give you a run for your money. Oh, bubbles for backup here. Now it's a fight you want to take. A 1v2, you don't want to take. 2v2, that's fine. You can take that. And actually, there's no reason to let him get the 14-minute rune here. You saw him walking up in this direction. Now, you don't have wards, so you could have potentially assumed that he was going, just going up this way and going back, you know, going like up here and walking back, which is a fair assumption to make. And you guys should have backed off when you saw like the first TP. I'm actually going to rewind that. Is this the rewind button? No, let's slow down. Sorry, I'm going to rewind that a few seconds just to tell you the exact time you should have gone. Okay, so 2 people here. This is when you should have backed off. Yeah, so as soon as you saw them, you should have backed off. You shouldn't have stuck around in the slightest bit. Now, whether or not you knew Deadwood was there is irrelevant, because 2v2 is fine. 2v2 on a tower is not fine. So, that's actually your first like major mistake that's cost you your life in the game. You should have gone back much sooner than that. And actually, if you had seen them, even just all 5 of them up, or 4 of them, I guess, because Parasite was dead, I probably, if they were all missing, which they were, I probably would have even just backed off. Just a little bit of map awareness, even though it may not be the most efficient thing to do. You may not get all the tower damage in you need to, and then, you know, it may cost you a little bit in the end. It's really worth saving your life. Just, like, I know it's like a psychological game at that point, but it's worth it, you know, just to take the chance, just to save your life. So, at the moment, your leveling-wise, I like your leveling. Your skill-wise, I haven't commented on that yet, but skill-wise is fine. Some people get this thing, the intelligence one. I don't really like it so much early game. I mean, the only reason I like that is because it's nice once you have a significant amount of damage already, and it gives you the true sight, so it helps you get people who are trying to creep away. Oh, Gladiator's ult's just a little bit off. This is what I mean when I say it's really hard to hit Gladiator's ult. Oh, I was going to say, if he wanted to, he could have jumped in there, but yeah, it would have been a little risky. He probably would have died, but I think he could have killed Gladiator. So this is actually really good. You guys were at 15 minutes and 40 seconds. You guys should not be doing this good against this early team. They're playing relatively poorly, actually. They should be doing much better, is what I'm going to say. Now you, specifically, are doing decently. If you look at hero damage, you've done 10% on your team, fairly decent. He's a pretty nuke-heavy early game. He can do a fair amount of nuking, which is nice, and he can do a little bit of tanking, too, because that's strength sap. Well, assuming you use it that way. But, so, Mystic Vestments. Mystic Vestments, great choice. What I'm going to harp on a number of times, though, this game is that you need a Shrunken Head. You need a Shrunken Head. If you look at this team, 4 out of 5 of them, pure magic damage almost, you need that Shrunken Head, which you don't get at any point, I think. I may have missed it when I was looking at the stat items, so if so, then I apologize. But if I recall correctly, you did not get one. There's more creep kills missed, not necessarily, but, you know, not going to harp on it too much. So we're getting at 1640 now. You have 60 creep kills. You're, again, just slightly behind where you should be. Yeah, you can use that. There wasn't really any reason to use that to harass the tower. So that's actually, you actually saw them with the ward, but... so that's good mini-map awareness that you're paying attention to the mini-map and back off. That's actually really smart. What I will say is that even without the ward, though, your map awareness, just noticing that 4 of them are missing probably should have told you to back off. So you back off and teleport top. He killed your Tempest top, I'm assuming. I'm going to rewind just a quick second here. Okay, so one more time. 2 more. Okay, I don't get it then. Did he kill Tempest up here? I don't know what the deal is, why he's doing this. He's not by any means high enough level to be back here doing this solo. This seems a little bit odd. There's nothing wrong with, you know, going past the tower a little bit, but I think he went a little bit far past the tower. Now, had more of your team come instead of just you, you guys could have killed him probably. I don't really understand his motives in doing that, but we're not focusing so much on him, so we're going to focus on you. Good job with the TP. That's what I'm going to say. Very good job. Having a TP teleporting here when you saw him pushing this lane, nice job. Nice job backing off on bot when you saw them coming. Very good job with that. Your items. So we're still sitting on the sustainer. You got another TP. Great. I love that. I love people who know they need to carry a TP. So you need to carry a TP. Pretty much constantly past like 7 to 10 minutes, you should have a TP at all times, really, except for the 1 or 2 exceptions where I'm willing to you know, not have a TP is maybe if you need the space for like a Kongor token. So very good push, realizing that they're bot and mid, very good job, and then backing off, not overextending. Very good job in that too. Deadwood here, he actually could jump in and maybe kill Bubbles, I don't know. Bubbles, how much health do we have here? 1,000, no, maybe he couldn't, not with you there. So they're going to take this mid tower, and it looks like, oh, your team is coming to defend. Okay, I was going to say it looks like nobody is going to come to defend. So Plague Rider is so fucked. He was pretty fucked right there. There wasn't really anything anybody could do once he got caught in that electrician grip. I'm actually surprised it took Parasite a little bit longer than necessary to do that. Very nice deny on bot by Purple. That is very good that he got that deny. We're going to come back in here. I'm going to rewind just a second. Sorry, I missed that. So we're rewinding here, and okay, good initiation by Bubbles, ultimate, that's what I was hoping for, and now we got you coming in. And this is good. And the only reason this is good is because we just saw 2 of them on bot. Otherwise, they could all be hiding right here, and that would be poor initiation. But because we just saw 2 of them on bot, that was a very good job, and you knew you could come in and pick one off. That was a nice job. And it certainly doesn't help that this electrician went for his boots first, and so he's pretty squishy. So you're dead, Tempest, yeah, and you wasted your ultimate. That was stupid. You were caught in his grasp. So the last time he ulted, he wasn't caught in his grasp. And I know I'm covering him now, not so much you, but sorry. But the last time he ultimated, he wasn't caught in somebody's grasp, so that's why I was okay. But this time he was. So it looks like you can't do these ancients just yet. They're only double stuck. You got the big one. You got the big dragon, so that's nice. So I assume we're going to be finishing this Rune Cleaver within the next 600 gold. I'm going to comment on it again. I don't like the Rune Cleaver. I really don't like the Rune Cleaver. there's I don't want to say no reason, but you shouldn't have gotten the Rune Cleaver. You should have gotten Frostburn, or maybe even just gone straight for a Shrunken Head, or Insanitarius I don't dislike. I like the Insanitarius. Insanitarius is only good if you're really far ahead, though, in my opinion. It's kind of like pressing your advantage, you know what I mean? It's like buying a Doombringer, really. It's like, I have a Doombringer, I know I'm not going to die, you know what I mean? I know I'm winning this game, so I'm not mad about buying a Doombringer, you know what I mean? No, I'm not saying you should buy a Doombringer, but... so I don't mind the Insanitarius, because you guys are actually doing quite well, which you shouldn't be doing. I'm going to say it again. The enemy team is actually misplaying this. The enemy team is actually misplaying this quite a bit. Now they're focusing on the wrong thing. They've been like trying to push towers instead of get kills. This is a really kill-heavy team. This isn't really a pushy team. I mean, not that they can't push, just that, you know, you guys have plenty of like anti-push. You know what I mean? Anti-push is really stun, but I mean, you guys have a lot of AoE, which I consider anti-push too. Bubbles to AoE, you have your little, I'm not sure the name of it, Gargantuan Blast? Yeah, Gargantuan Blast. And, you know, Plague Rider's got his Contagion, Gladiator with his Whip. Everybody on your team, with the exception of Tempest, has like AoE that can counter push. So these guys are waiting here to try and jump on you and get some kills. Finally, Electrician got that. He got a little bit greedy here. He went out too early. He could have just waited a little bit more and got a kill. They have a ward here, so he really wants it. Oh, you're caught. You're dead. Oh my god. Are you gonna get out? His team's not backing up. So this is phenomenal play by you guys. You should have died there in most 1500 games, is what I will say. That was quite well by you guys. Not necessarily you. I think on that one you have your team to thank. They did an amazing job there supporting you. Because otherwise, although what I also will say is that his ultimate was delayed for some reason there, and I'm not sure why he waited so long. But that was quite a good job by your team. You as well. You noticed him coming pretty quickly and had pretty good reaction time on that. So I'm not gonna by any means take anything away from you. That was a pretty good job by you as well. So I think your biggest problems this game so far are your creep score is low, and your build is not that good. And, I mean, some people may argue with me. I by no means main Shadowblade. I've played him a couple of times, maybe, you know, 5 to 10 times, give or take. And I don't particularly like the hero to begin with. But if I were to play the hero, I wouldn't have built a Rune Cleaver. That's not an item I would get on him. I would have gotten probably a Frostburn for my first item. And then after that, maybe, actually, no, I definitely would have gone for Shrunken after that, and then maybe the Insanitarius. I'm not actually sure what they recommend for him, and I don't think, can I look if we go, I'm gonna do that in a second, actually. We can look. Okay, so they recommend Helm. That's not a bad item. Build him a little bit more tanky. Nullstone. Actually, a Nullstone would have been fine to build this game either if you didn't want to get a Shrunken. Dawnbringer. I don't have enough experience with the Dawnbringer to say whether that's a good or bad item on him. So these look like carry items. These are all carry items. They don't recommend Insanitarius, which I can understand. Insanitarius is an odd item to recommend on any hero, with the exception of maybe Predator and Malakin. Those are two heroes that really kick ass with Insanitarius, like, really kick ass. And Hellflower, I don't know about that. I wouldn't have built that, but, you know, by no means is that necessarily bad. I'd have to look into it. Dawnbringer, I think, would do fine on him. So I would have built the Frostburn and then probably built that into a Dawnbringer, because the Dawnbringer has all 3 parts, so it would have been, you know, 2/3 of the way there. Oop, are we getting initiated on? We are, so I'm going to rewind 2 seconds here. Okay, so we're actually going to go back to Spectator's point of view. So Deadwood's here, so you got a little bit caught out. Yeah, that's unfortunate. What I do want to say is that you saw them come to gank you last time here. So you shouldn't necessarily know, but you should have had somewhat of an idea that there might have been a ward here. You saw Deadwood like portal key in, like he was ready to go. He knew somebody was here last time, remember? And now these guys are making a mistake of continuing to fight. Very good Plague Ultimate, very good. Oh god, that did quite a beating to them. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough really to, you know, make a huge difference. And the reason you guys lost that team fight, the only reason you lost that team fight was because you got caught out here. And again, I think it's your support's fault mostly, but your fault as well. Your support should have been counter-warding this. At this point, this is a pretty common ward place. They don't have this tower, so it's a little bit odd that it's here, but not totally odd. Usually you get this after you get the tower, but that doesn't mean you have to get it afterwards. But you should have had an idea that there's a ward somewhere in this area because you saw them come for you before. So maybe just keep those things in mind. If you saw Deadwood portal key in on you before, usually people won't waste portal keys with a guess. Usually they'll, oh, that's unfortunate that he's invisible. Usually they won't waste portal keys with a guess. Usually they will be pretty sure when they're going to portal key, so that means he knew you were there most likely. So you should have been able to have a general idea that he was there, or that there's a ward there rather. So just keep those things in mind for future reference. Deadwood just picking somebody off and then he dies. I'm not sure why he did that. Is his portal key off cooldown, right? Yeah, he should have portal keyed out instantly. I don't know what he's doing. So more misplay by them. This is what I'm talking about, is that you guys, now I'm not saying you shouldn't have won the game, because you guys are playing quite well to begin with, but they are playing pretty poorly. That was more greed by Deadwood. Not sure the reasoning for that. So I mean, well, I'm sure the reasoning for that is because people, you know, play Deadwood want kills, but so at the moment you're a little bit far up. I would even back off a little bit, and yeah, when you see them, you do back off a little bit. They don't have a tower, but that doesn't mean they're necessarily scared of initiating. Oh, nice, wasting your chipper ult. I mean, it has a pretty short cooldown, so it's not a huge deal, but this is, oh, I thought I saw a gladiator ult, my mistake. I was going to say this is not necessarily something you would want to initiate on. Now it is. Now they're out of position. So now it's 3v4, one of them being Parasite was too far back to help. So that was good initiation. I'm not sure if you guys actually noticed that. So this is poor. You're actually just letting Parasite come in and rape your support. Now it's not necessarily your fault. I think it's a team's fault. Parasite, or Plague Rider should have been closer to the team. His positioning was slightly off. He was a little bit far back. And then on top of that, you guys kind of let Parasite walk past. So Parasite is one of those heroes who can run in, kill somebody instantly, and then he'll just leave. And he has no reason to stay and fight. He's sorry about that, I clear my throat. So good initiation by you, but I think it was misplaced because you didn't have any support on that. And you should have noticed the three of them were up. Actually, that's very nice that you both got away. Deadwood should have been able to kill her, or him or some, I don't know if Tempest is a guy, or I guess it's a guy. It looks like a guy in the picture. But either way, so Deadwood, a little bit misplay there again by him. He's been misplaying a lot frequently. And you, let's see, so we're working on that Insanitarius now. So if you wanted to build an Insanitarius, I'm not saying it's wrong, although I don't like it, but I'm not saying it's wrong. But you should have definitely gotten a Shrunken Head first. Even though you guys are doing quite well, you are 4-2 with 300 GPM, about 400 XPM. Now you're doing quite well, but that doesn't mean, you know what I mean? Like, just because you're doing well doesn't mean you can, like, avoid getting items that you need to get still. So I'm actually going to rewind this and comment on whether or not you were out of position. So really, I would say, let's do that one more time. You can't see him there. So there's a lot of them missing, and you don't have a ward here. I would say that this is maybe a little bit far out to be by yourself. Especially with the Deadwood, Parasite, Chipper, Electrician, Midas. But I don't think it's your fault. I think if there was a ward right here, maybe you would have seen that coming. And I think on your own, you maybe shouldn't have been here since you know Deadwood has a portal key. But I'm not gonna harp on you. That was fine. You were just farming. It wasn't your fault. Had we, being the team, that is, had wards, and here we go. See, now we get the counter ward here. If the team had wards up properly, then that wouldn't have happened, but, you know, I think with your vision at the time, you saw 3 of them missing, you didn't have sight, maybe you should have backed off a little bit. That's a little bit risky considering the team they have. They have a very kill-heavy team. And you don't have a Shrunken Head still. Not that that would have made a huge difference, since this is Deadwood and his ultimate is all physical, but the Shrunken Head would have still helped. And also, actually, one of you, either you or Gladiator, sorry again, either you, Gladiator, or even Tempest, debatably, at some point in the game, a Soul's Bulwark wouldn't even have been a bad item to have. So it looks like we're raring up for a team fight here. Oh, if we can get initiation on a Parasite. Oh, perfect. I don't know why he's running through and nobody did anything about that. That was weird. Okay, I stand corrected. Not perfect. Wasted Plague Rider ult, or by the team in general, not you specifically, but team in general. You are running in, guns a-blazing, killing people. Nice job. You're the tankiest member of this team, probably, with the maybe possible exception of Gladiator. Yeah, Gladiator looks like he might be a little bit more tanky than me. But I think when you use your strength stabs and stuff like that, you might even be more tanky. So that was a very good job by you. You're not necessarily the one that's initiating, but you're the one that's going in and making sure that they know that you guys are coming in. So right here you're taking unnecessary tower damage. Probably not a good idea considering 4 of them are still up, but I mean, hey, it's not that big of a deal. Parasite can't really one-shot combo you at least. Although Parasite and Deadwood could probably do it. But let's see if you got Codex. Is that level 5? Is that a Codex? Nope, level 2. Okay. Deadwood, still got nothing. Okay, so right now you guys are actually doing the right thing. You should have backed off there. Very good job. Now you in particular, let's see. Yeah, you should be last in going to farm. What I would say, though, is that you guys should you definitely need a ward on Kongor. And again, it's not your fault. This is a support's job, but your team in general needs a ward on Kongor right now. We're at 30 minutes. This is way too late to not have a ward on Kongor. So you have wards. We have one here. We got one over here. That's nice. But this is key. If they get a sneak Kongor in, that could potentially cost you guys the game. So you really need sight somewhere around the Kongor pit. Nice. Your teammates triple stacking these for you. Is that triple or double? I think that's only a double. Oh well, either way. Yeah, no, that must have been a triple because there were 6 of these things. At some point it was a triple, I think. So that's nice. Your team's triple stacking, and then they help you do it without taking last hits. So your support's actually pretty decent for 1,500 supports is what I'm going to say. Let's see, your CK, stat-wise, CK 100 at 30 minutes and 45 seconds. That's bad. So you're starting to drop off more, actually, and which is kind of odd since you have a Rune Cleaver. I'm not sure why that's happening. You should be... So here's a little bit of idle time. You could be using... Oh, you were buying something. So maybe my recommendation, at this point, since I've been playing for so long, I haven't learned all of them, but a lot of the like hotkeys for the shop I've actually picked up on, and so I can shop much quicker than I used to be able to. Now, I'm not saying you should just go sit there and memorize all of them. I mean, that's probably what you should do, but obviously nobody wants to do that. So maybe just learn them over time. It looks like we're going to get a free kill on Chipper. Yay. Now you need to get out because, you should not fight this, really. I mean, no. So you jumped back in there. You should have left it and die. It was a little bit odd. He shouldn't have been there. But, I mean, you guys did get a kill. Chipper for bubbles. I don't think it's necessarily a bad trade. It's about equivalent. But, you know, Chipper's higher level, so it's a little bit more important that they have Chipper, whereas you guys killed Bubble, sorry, rather, it's a little bit more important that you guys have Bubbles, rather they don't necessarily need Chipper, because he's not really keeping up in skill and level, you know? So, your CK's still behind. So, your GPM is decent. 300 is okay. It's a decent GPM to have. It's top in the game, actually, I believe. Yes. There's Parasite, who's right behind you. And actually, this is one of the ways you know that your CK is behind. Parasite should not be on par with you on creep score when you have a Shrunken Head. Even without your Shrunken Head, he still shouldn't be on par with you. Or not Shrunken Head, sorry, Rune Cleaver. I'm sorry. When you have a Rune Cleaver, your GPM and your creep farm should be exponentially increasing, much faster than the rest of the game. So, I don't think you guys... Oh, you do. You do know these guys are here, so you should back out. This is not a fight you should initiate. Only because you don't know where they all are. So, it looks like you're gonna do it anyways, though. Not necessarily you. So, there's one down. Yeah, this is a fight you should get out of, probably. Oh, nice gladiator. Never mind. There we go. One gladiator ultimate, and now I'm back on board. So without that gladiator ultimate, the fight may have gone a different way. I think he still would have won it, to be honest with you, but it's a little bit dicier that way. But that was a pretty nice gladiator ultimate. Now I'm not sure why you are running away. Oh, you are almost dead. Okay, so you should run away. The rest of these guys can most certainly kill it. I thought I saw you. Oh, you know what it was? I saw you a minute ago with more health, but you probably had your Insanitarius on. Okay, so that's fine. FYI though, there's no reason to turn the Insanitarius off if you're not in danger. So, that sounds weird. You shouldn't just leave it on all the time. But I'm saying, like, if he was the only one left, and you guys could have gone in and killed him, and I think you had maybe you were low on mana too. I'm not sure. Actually, we can just rewind and check for a minute here. Let's check. So you had a little bit of mana left. So yeah, you turned off the Insanitarius. I'm just watching your health bar at the moment. So yeah, there goes the Insanitarius. So you turn off the Insanitarius. You actually didn't need to. You could have just gone in and killed him because of how low he is on mana and health. And another thing that some people don't note is that, oops, I hit the fast forward instead of the next. Another thing that some people don't note is that you can actually turn the Insanitarius on and off, and it'll give you the health back. So you can like turn it off, and it'll jump you back up to like I don't know, however much health this thing adds. I think it's like 300, 400 or something. 475. Yeah. The health removal is not, yeah, so you can turn it up to 475, and then when you drop to 100 health, you can turn it off and then turn it back on, and it'll give you 475 again. It's a little bit, it has a short cooldown, so keep that in mind. It's not instant, but it's non-lethal damage, so it'll remove 475 health, but if you have 100 health, it's only going to remove it down to 1 health, and then you can turn it back on, and it'll give you 475. So it's something you should note. I mean, I don't really like using it because it's a little bit risky, I think, but I think it's better to just get out before you even have to worry about that. But hey, some people do enjoy using it, and I'm sure if some people who are top tier, the really good players have no problem using it and doing everything right. Wow, that was pretty bad. He just got one hit, and now you don't have his ultimate for this team fight. So now I would recommend conceding this tower. Yeah. Nice deny. God, out of this gladiator. I actually want to see that. How did he even get that deny? That was... There's no way he should have gotten that deny. I'm not sure why they let that happen. These two are over here doing whatever. This is more misplay by them. I don't understand this. So actually, I know you guys probably didn't know that Deadwood was so far back and all that, but you guys actually could have initiated onto that right as they got the tower. And I think you would have been able to get 1 or 2 of them and then maybe just back off. So the game lasts 40 minutes, by the way, for anybody who's still watching. So this is about to end. And I imagine what's going to happen is the Hellborn team is about to get caught out of position or not where they should be, and it's going to end the game. So at this point, your creep score, low. I want to emphasize that. This is not high for a creep score by now. You should have at minimum like 150, no, like 175 at this point. They actually have wards. You guys don't know that, I don't think. You have a ward here, but no rev. So I guess, actually, if you have a ward here, it's fine. You would see them coming anyways. The retard is not playing getting PK and camping outside. Are we talking about... Who are we talking about? Oh, okay, so I guess your Tempest is raging or something at this point. Or maybe he's just not initiating the way you guys want him to. So this guy is fucked. Bubbles is fucked, like really fucked. Okay, so this is bad. It looks like you guys are getting caught out. I mean, I know you guys win the game, but so at this point you need to get back. You just saw them over here. It's 4v5 now. You need to get back, like back to the tower. And there you go. These two need to also get back. I'm not sure why they're here. I would imagine what's going to happen here in a minute is you're going to get like a really pro gladiator ult, and it looks like there it is. Yep. And that's GG. That combination, oh my god. See, this is why I like the combination at the beginning. Those 3, like, massive AoE ultimates is just, that's it. You just won the game, I think. Yeah. Especially since, look at you, full HP. What I will want to mention is that actually you did pretty much nothing in this last team fight. I'm actually going to rewind that just because of how awesome that is. Perfect portal key. He gets 4 out of 5. perfect gladiator ult, perfect plague rider ult. You come in and kill Chipper, you do a little bit. Okay, so I'm not gonna take that away from you. You do a little bit, and at that point, really, they just like there wasn't anything you could do to stop them from doing everything. They did quite. That was phenomenal combo right there. Just phenomenal. That's what just won you that game right there. I mean, the fact that they just did a near perfect combo of their ultimates like that was great. So let's see. Item wise, it looks like you're going for a Behemoth's Heart next. Still no Shrunken Head, which I find a little bit odd. I mean, I guess maybe you're thinking you're not the one who's really getting focused so much, so you don't need it. But you should be, because you're a carry, so you should be getting focused a fair amount. I mean, you have 300 damage with your Insanitarius on, which means if they aren't focusing you, they probably not necessarily super focusing you, but I mean, they should be doing something. Even without the Insanitarius on, still a fair amount. They should be, you know, trying. I mean, you're a pretty tanky hero, so I can understand not getting focused, but still, a Shrunken Head is so, like, necessary in this game. Like, I can't emphasize that enough, that a Shrunken Head, I mean, literally, almost every single one of them is pure magic damage. You could literally get a Shrunken Head and be essentially immune from taking any damage for 10 seconds. Like, that's huge. Like, you can do whatever you want. And not only does it stop the damage, it stops the stuns, too. So the only thing you'd be able to be stunned by is Deadwood's ultimate, I think, does, 1.5 second stun. And it's physical damage, so it won't block that stun. His root is magic damage, though, and this is physical damage when he throws it. Okay, so you're dead here, I would think. Yeah, ultimate? Do you have the ultimate? I don't understand why he didn't ultimate. Well, what was that? Did you, like... I'm actually going to rewind that, because I'm confused as to why. Why is his ultimate great? Oh, is it off cooldown? Is it still on cooldown? It is. Oh, he should have just waited a few seconds. Oh, that fool. Oh, he let you get away. You're lucky, actually. I would... Oh, God. You might not be lucky. You don't have a TP. Okay, so there's no reason to have this shield anymore. So that's something I can comment on real quick. There's absolutely no reason to still have this shield instead of a TP. So at this point, I'm actually going to, just real quick, I'll come back. Actually, I'll do it at the end of the game. You should turn your Sanitarius on, run in, and do your thing. Very good job. Now get out. Nice job. Are you Savage Silkholder? Oh, that's unfortunate. But it's okay. It's alright. They were going to get him. So, yeah, there's his greed again, causing him to die. So, this looks like it's bad for you guys. Where's Yellow? Yellow's coming in, but it's not going to be fast enough. Okay. So, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I feel about this. Chipper's dead, yeah. Gladiator, oh, sorry, not Gladiator, Minus is what I was going to say. Oh, very nice. This Gladiator, I like him. He is good, actually. I really like this team. You have a pretty good team, so, I mean, I don't know what the deal is with Tempest. Maybe he wasn't initiating, but Gladiator's pretty damn good. He's been hitting his ultimates pretty good all game. Plague Rider, for the most part, has been fairly good. You, as well, have been fairly good. I do have a fair amount of argument with your build, but it's working out for you, so, maybe I'm wrong. And Gladiator's build's fine. So actually I'm going to rewind. I'm going to come back here a significant amount. I'm going to go back until the last time you had a TP. I'm looking at your items now. Just keep rewinding because I want to see when you had a TP. Okay, so you had a TP here. 35 minutes. So then you sold it to get that heart. Or to get the Axe of the Malphite. So in that case, I want to say, hold on to the TP. There's no reason to not keep the TP and to sell this shield. This shield is essentially useless at this point. So there's no reason to not do it. So for future reference, when you have a quote-unquote useless item in your inventory, don't sell your TP. Sell your useless item. That is so incredibly, crucial. And in this game, it actually didn't make a huge difference. Although... Ooh, I'm very sorry about that. Although, in the top there, you may have been able to live had you done something like you TP'd out. I mean, you would have lived, but you wouldn't have gotten a kill. So, I don't know. It seems, I think it was about an even trade. I mean, you got Parasite for you. Parasite's one of their top players. You're one of the best players in this team, from what I can see. But either way, there's no reason to not sell your shield to have that TP. So, for future reference, keep the TP. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and end the game here. I'm going to disconnect. I want to go over your stats now real quick. So, stat-wise. So actually, and I'm not sure why the game does this, but it actually adds on a few creep score at the end. I'm not sure if there's a reason why it does that. Because if you paid attention to the replay, I'm not sure if you had 170 or not. I don't think you did. But I know in a number of my games, I don't finish with the score that it says I do. I finish slightly lower. But I'm not sure the reason why the game does that. I'm sure there is a reason. Maybe it's like creep score that you got indirectly or something, and then it adds it on or whatever. I don't know. But so you were probably at about like 160, 155, something like that. So that's not good. I mean, well, I don't want to say it's not good because it's decent, but it's not anything to brag about. So you should have been higher than that at a 40-minute game. You should have been at least 200, especially with a rune cleaver. Rune cleaver is like, you know, you buy a rune cleaver to increase your farm, really. That's the reason to buy it. I mean, the fact that you can use the AoE against enemies too is nice, but and that's, I'm not going to say that's not a reason to buy it, but I mean, it's not necessarily a reason you shouldn't buy it, you know what I mean? So, I don't know what I just said. That doesn't make any sense. Ignore that. But either way, it's a reason. One of the reasons you buy it is to increase your farm exponentially. So you increase your farm, that's great, but you didn't increase it enough. Like I said, really make it a goal to do 100 every 20 minutes. That's like a goal you need to have if you're going to play a carry. Obviously, if you're playing support or something, that goal doesn't apply. But if you're going to play a carry, you need to be getting at least like 100 every 20 minutes. It'll really make you like so much stronger. Like you'll get your items that much sooner. You'll be able to get that many more kills. It's really like an exponential increase in skill, really, if you can do that. But with that being said, still, you finished 11-4. You did quite well in team fights, quite well. Your I can't think of the word, but your GPM finished quite well. 377 is by no means a bad GPM to have. Your XPM still quite good, 538. That is quite good to have. So I don't want to take it away from you. Just because your CK was not that high, or not as high as it should be, rather, I don't want to take away the fact that you did very good. And actually, in your post, you said that you were a 1600 player at some point. I would say you're still a 1600 level skill player. Because that was still quite good. I think your creep score is one thing that's holding you back significantly, and then your build. This is something I really want to like talk about, and I may be wrong because I don't main a Shadowblade, but I think the vast majority of items you picked were not good items to have, or not necessarily not good items, but I just think you could have done better. Now, some people may argue otherwise. I think a Helm of the Black Legion is actually fine to get on him. I think Frostburn would have been a good idea to get on him. I think you built him more tanky than damagey, all right, which seems a little weird because you built hybrid-y, kind of. So here's my main problem with your build. Isn't so much the items, it's more so the way you decided to go. So you started out with a Rune Cleaver. Okay, that indicates you're going for a damagey hero, all right? Rune Cleaver really helps to, you know, kickstart the gold and really helps to, you know, make your killing that much easier in team fights and such, especially with the Tempest ult. But I'm not going to talk about that. Oh, well, actually, I guess I can talk about that real quick. That, you know, if they're all stuck right next to each other, the Rune Cleaver makes it so much better. So, I mean, it's kind of common sense, but in case you hadn't thought about it, sometimes people just don't think about that stuff. So you started out with that. Okay, that's fine, I guess. I do have a little bit of a problem with that specific item on him, but I'm okay with that as long as you continue to stick with a build of similar, you know, you can't mix match builds really. So you started out with that, then you got the Mystic Vestments, totally fine. Mystic Vestments are an item you can pick up in any build, it's totally okay. It just depends on the enemy team's composition and what you need. Then you got Insanitarius. So now we're kind of dipping into a little bit of the tankiness, but Insanitarius is still a damagey item. So then from there, you just went straight for a Behemoth's Heart, which I find a little bit odd. So I don't want to say you didn't have any damage at the end, because if you recall, you had quite a bit of damage there. My big problem was that you had the damage, but you didn't have the attack speed to go with it. Like you were hitting like a truck, but then, you know, you had like half a second cooldown in your attacks, or 2/3 of a second, or whatever the cooldown was. I don't actually recall. But it wasn't like, you know, like watching a scout hit somebody, you know what I mean? You know, a late game scout, he'll go like he'll just beat somebody's face in. So you had the damage, you just didn't have the attack speed. So you built like a carry and a tank. And the reason for that may have been because you guys don't really have a super tanky person on your team, which is okay if that's the reason for it. If that's what you were going for, then I'm not necessarily against that. I think maybe you could have just picked a tanky hero and built him that way. The only thing is, you know, well, I'm not upset with your build. I just think that you chose a build that I wouldn't have chosen. I would have chosen a more of a carry-oriented build on a carry-oriented hero. But I've seen people play him as like a tanky initiator too, and it seems to work out. But what I will say is, if you're going to play him tanky like this, I don't think a Rune Cleaver is the item you should have gotten. I think you should have gotten something else. Maybe a Shaman's Headdress, maybe a Shrunken Head, maybe work towards a Demonic Breastplate. You know, you could have got a Soul's Bulwark. You know, there's a number of other things. But you started to build carry and then went tanky, which is kind of odd. So that's my major concern with your build. Other than that, though, and your creep score, you did great. Your positioning was pretty good a lot of the time, and when it wasn't, I think I commented on it, on the fact that you might be a little bit too far out or things of that nature. So feel free to go back and watch the team fight sections again. So you can like fast forward, you know, just look for team fights and then just rewind to the beginning of the team fights and see if I say anything. So other than that, your positioning was pretty good. Your team fighting was pretty good. There were a couple times where you let, at least I can think of at least one time where you guys let Parasite come in and just rape your support, which isn't something I'd recommend. If you're going to be focusing somebody, I think you were focusing like Deadwood or somebody at the time, or maybe you were focusing one of the other guys. That's okay. But I mean, even still, if you're going to be focusing somebody, Parasite's pretty squishy too. So I mean, I don't see any reason in not saving your support's life and killing him at the same time. So, I mean, obviously people get a little bit tunnel vision from time to time, and it's okay, people make mistakes. I just think that letting him die in that particular case, and I think you know the case that I'm talking about, I think letting him die in that particular case was a mistake. So maybe for future reference, pay attention to your supports. Nobody likes dying, but even supports, I know sometimes they have to, you know, take one for the team, but there's no reason to let them die unnecessarily. So keep that in mind next time. Other than that, though, you did quite good, actually. You did pretty damn good. Just keep your creep score up. So I'm going to summarize it real quick. Creep score up. I think hero selection, maybe you should have picked somebody else since you built him really tanky. I think there were a couple other heroes that could have been picked tanky. Pandemonium for one of them, although that guy wanted Plague Rider. I don't actually remember which ones he had for his choices, so I'm not entirely sure. But I think there may have been a better choice. If not, then that's okay. But maybe so maybe just watch your build then. So keep your creep score up if you're going to be playing a carry. Keep your build consistent. If you're gonna be picking tank items, then build tanky. If you're going to be picking, you know, damage items, then build damagey. You know what I mean? If you try and do a hybrid, then you're kind of not really amazing in either category. You know what I mean? It's like you only have 6 items, you only have so much gold. If you split up the gold amongst the two categories, you're kind of going to be in between and not really that great at either. Which obviously it worked out, but I think this is a case of one of those times where just because something worked out doesn't necessarily mean it's right. So it's not necessarily wrong either. I just don't necessarily like the Rune Cleaver in this build. But you can think about it, I guess. I especially don't like it though because you didn't use it to like escalate your farm even further. But so quick summarization: your creep score a little bit low. Keep it up 100 every 20 minutes. Keep that in mind. Your build, stay consistent. Your hero selection, maybe rethink that. I personally don't like the hero, but some people do. So if you do, then ignore this tip, I guess. I just think there's better heroes for his role. But if not, then if you like the hero, I don't think there's anything wrong with the hero. Supposedly all the heroes in the game are balanced. And then finally, maybe, you know, just pay attention to the team fights. Watch your supports. Make sure they're not getting ass raped by the gankers on their team, or, you know, things of that nature. Sorry if you don't like swearing, by the way. I know I've sworn a couple times in this, so sorry about that. But, you know, keep an eye out for team fights. There's no reason to let your teammates die unnecessarily just because you're getting tunnel visioned on some other people. Now, it's kind of dicey to say when you should, you know, help your teammates and kill other people. So, I mean, that's a little bit hard to tell you. If you give me another examples, I can, you know, in this, I think you should have helped Plague Rider instead of focusing on him. But, you know, if there are other examples you're unsure about, let me know and I'll check them out. It's hard to tell you, like, as a generalization, though. It's much easier to give you, like, a general rule or it's much easier to tell you for each individual case. So for this case, I think helping Plague Rider would have been the better choice. But with that being said, other than that, you did quite well, and I think you are easily a 1600 level skill player. You're if not on par with me, sorry, I just hit the mic, by the way. If not on par with me, maybe even a little better, or possibly just slightly below. Not that that's really saying much, since I'm not really that amazing myself, but you know, just saying. Other than that, though, you did good. So you know, focus on the things I told you to improve on, especially your creep score. That's something you really need to work on. Other than that, though, you did good. With that being said, though, I hope you learned something from this. Everybody who watched it, by the way, not just Sammerrz, but Sammerrz in particular, since this is who the video is about. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys liked it. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you would like. You guys know where the buttons are. Hit them if you want. I try to put out 3 to 5 videos a week, so there will be more content. Feel free to send me your own replays if you would like. I'm more than happy to do any replays, even if you're 1200 and don't even know how to last hit, or even if you're 1800 and you're amazing at the game. I don't think I'd be able to find any mistakes in your... Well, actually, that's not true. Even 1800 players make mistakes, so I'm sure I could find some mistakes. But even if I could find them, you could probably find them too. So, so you know, anybody, though, it doesn't matter. Feel free to send me a replay. And other than that, also feel free to dislike the video if you did, but please tell me why. And I also want to say, specifically to Sammerrz, but anybody, let me know if you think I'm wrong about anything, because I would be more than happy to argue my point a little further, or if I'm wrong, correct myself. I would like to improve too. So, you know, if I'm doing something wrong, if I'm giving people wrong advice especially, then let me know, because I don't want to be doing that. So, thank you guys for watching, and thank you for liking and subscribing, I guess, if you did that. And I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys learned something from it. And you're welcome, Sammerrz, or if I did a poor job, if you think I didn't do very good, then I'm sorry. But, you know, those are my thoughts on the video. Either way, though, guys, that will be it for today, and this has been a replay analysis. So, GG, well played, Sammerrz, and I will talk to you guys later. Elfis out.